Good evening, guys. Good evening, ladies. Yeah, just call me hair. There we go. Make me look presentable. Yeah, we're in the shack. Good evening, guys. Yeah, we're in the shack. We're Friday night. It's live. I was tonight, guys. Let's turn the radio on. Good evening, guys. Oh, let's turn this down. Right, what I wanted to do tonight, I wanted to show you the difference between the Bush MB60 and the Bush TR82C, but I've had to postpone that because I can't find my MB60. I think Christine's put it somewhere. I think it's in the bedroom, but I couldn't find it, so I didn't bother looking because it was too much. It was too much hassle to. I'm just making sure that we're on and everything's we're working. Right, so yeah, we've got the radio on here, guys. Yeah, we need to tidy the shack up a bit. The shack's getting a bit overloaded with stuff that doesn't need to be here. Yeah, some persons left some horrible comments on my other channel. I'll be honest with you guys. Right, I'm getting fed up of it, and if it keeps happening, then I'm just going to start putting the videos in the members corner. I will actually put them where you have to be a member and you will have to pay to watch them. It's not fair having to do that because there's a lot of good people, but that's what I'll end up doing. Either that or I'll end up just giving this up altogether. So I've banned them or reported them to YouTube. Reporting them, whether I get anywhere is another fucking matter. YouTube only cares, turn that down a minute, they only care about their fucking amount of money they make. They don't give a fuck about their members. Hello, Paul. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah, some cretin called David Knight and somebody else thought it'd be a good idea to leave horrible comments on my other channel regarding yeah, still. Never mind. It was Harvey who brought it to my attention because he spotted it on my Bush SRP 31C. Apparently, guys, I leave things unsafe. I leave equipment unsafe, apparently. And I'm pretty sure if I did that, I don't. In fact, the record players and stuff, LOSX, the stuff I repair is actually safer. I'm not going to say probably. I'm going to say it is because I know damn well it is. It's actually more safer than what it was when it was fucking manufactured. I mean, like the dance sets, the ones that can be earthed, I earth them. The ones that are the ones that don't have transformers in, I don't really repair them. I scrap them. Well, that's it, you see, but the thing being, right, the thing is, Paul, right, the thing is, if I left things unsafe, if, everybody watches me channel, people, I've got over 3,000 subscribers, watch me channel, they watch vintage audio repair, right? And if I left anything unsafe, I'm pretty sure somebody would pop up and say, listen, Andy, that's not quite right what you've done. Take another look. And the other thing to keep in mind is when I actually do the repairs, the people that the repairs belong to, they've got the option to sit in and watch the video. I don't do that live anymore, but I premiere the video and they've got a right to comment And when they get the item back, and they look at it, they've got a right to comment and say, oh, whether the job was any good or not, you know. And I've never had any complaints. And the only record player there's only one or two that's come back, and that's dodgy mechanisms. Nothing to do with safety. You know, I've got that Colaro that's come back. Well, I had an HMV that came back. It was a dodgy valve. An EL86. I put a brand new EL86 in for him, and it's now working perfect. You know. But any complaints that do come back, it's usually based around the mechanism. You know, it's usually I've had one, my friend Paul, a guy from the 60s, he brought one back when he come to pick a load of his stuff up once, and it was only the idler. He said if I'd realised how simple it was, I'd just put another idler in it for him. I said, but you could have just got a bit of sandpaper and cleaned it, or whatever, you know. And he said if I'd realised how easy it was, I would have done it. I would have mileaged you with it. But that's why the things are guaranteed. People can bring them back. And, you know, if people think my practices are unsafe, you know, report me to trading standards. It's simple, isn't it? You know, and then they can send an expert, and an expert can say, you know, I've had electricians come here from the council because they know I've got a workshop in me. They know I've got a workshop in my second bedroom because the council know I use my second bedroom as a workshop, and they've been out and they've checked all my plugs and everything, and they're happy with it. Yeah, good evening, Karen. Yeah, good evening, Karen. You know, yeah, we're just talking about safety for a minute. Some cretins on my other channel, just to bring you up to speed, commented on my Bush SRP 31C video that went up the other day, that I leave things unsafe and that I stink and all this fucking lot. Really? Right, how can they smell me through the microphone or the camera? I don't smell any worse than any other human. Anyway, but that being said, you know, at the end of the day, I don't leave things unsafe. And the things I work on, the stuff I work on, is actually safer when it leaves me than what it was when it got here. You know, but you know, I've not had any complaint. I don't get any complaints. And you know, yeah, okay, I've had the odd thing come back because of a dodgy mechanism. That can happen. You know, that can happen. You know, maybe I overlook something, but but when it comes to the electrical side, unsafe how? That's what I mean. People don't say how unsafe; they just say unsafe. But these people they had nothing on their channels. Before I blocked them, I checked them, and they had nothing on their channels. Just a couple of keyboard warriors. The mothers actually probably suck dicks for a living. You know? And it really does annoy me, to be honest. It doesn't bother me, but it annoys me. You know, like I say, there's over 3,000 people that are subscribed. But if it keeps happening, guys, if it keeps happening, I'm just going to put it all on a members thing, and you know, anybody who wants to watch the channel will have to pay for it. As simple as that. And I don't want to do that, and I've said I'll never do that. But if people are going to keep doing that to me, I'll just put it on a members thing, where unless you pay me, you don't get to watch the video, then you can't comment on it. You know, and I don't want to do that, but that's the way it's going to be going. At the end of the day, guys, I mean, that's the way it's going to... Either that, or I'll just take everything down and call it a day and not do anything. it's the people who are unsafe. Well, there is that, but I don't leave anything unsafe. I don't do anything that is deemed to be dodgy. If I'm not happy with something, then I won't send it out. I have to be 100% happy with it before I'll send it out. You know, so apparently one of them, Mr. David Knight, reckons his 6-year-old son, or whatever it is, was probably not the father of, probably reckons he's got more electronic knowledge than I've got. Oh, I've only been in the business since I was 8 or 9. So, you know, that's, you know, people need to keep their mouth shut. They only do it because they know I can't get hold of them. Because if I fucking got hold of you, you twat, I'd fucking rip your face off. Keep calm, there's nothing wrong with what you do. No, I know that. You are an engineer. Well, that's true. You know, but... you know, I've had a good name all my life, and I've never, ever had a problem. You know, I've got a good reputation. That reputation has never been brought into question, and I'm not going to let foot dogs on YouTube fucking try and do that. That's not going to happen. So basically, even if it doesn't stop, another one of them, and I'll just end the lot completely. Any more comments like that, and I'll just close it down. I'll just take everything off, and it'll be like it was never here. And because to be honest, guys, I don't really care whether I do this or not. You know, I do it for entertainment, I do it for fun, I do it because it's enjoyable. But at the end of the day, you know, there was a time before YouTube. And, you know, yeah, that doesn't bother me. You know, just pisses me off a bit, really. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, what can I say? Anyway, more on the subject of radio. Right, so basically, we need to sort the work out. We need to sort the work area out. Ooh. I'm still waiting to get the Mildred to put me light up and my camera mount up here. I've actually, let's go to get the mouse. I'll tell you what, fuck the mouse. Let's go around this radio. See what we've got on the radio. Right, we're on 10 metres, guys. Let's go to the correct camera. Right, we're on 10 metres. Would have got the mouse and not the fucking microphone, wouldn't it? Right. Right, that camera's back up. It fell down the other day. There we go. I've got stuff piled up, guys. There we go. So let's see if I can zoom in. Alright, there we go. We're on 10 metres. So let's see. Let's put it on fast. And see if we can find anything. Here we go. We're on USB, by the way, guys. Now we're on 11 metres. Let's move. Let's go to 555. Not much happening on there, is there? There's not much happening on this radio tonight. Yeah, we were in the wrong place. I thought. Right, so. Let's go to 555 and see if we can find anything. I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way so you can see me tune the radio. Fucking hell, I've gone too far. Hello, Jason. Nice to see you in, mate. We're gonna. There we go, 555. Well, not quite. We're a bit off. We'll put a CQ call out and see if anybody. It might crash me fucking mouse though. Sometimes crashes me fucking mouse. Well, you might not on SSB. It does on FM. Alright, let's have a go. Yeah, the person requested the station requested radio check. Can you give us some numbers, please? Give us a count, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe I had a
Yeah, she took it up to bed, it whoops it on the pillow, we know. Yes, I'm getting £7. £7 Radio 5. I'm in Stockport. I'm on the Pulse of Ponderosa in Brinnington. I'm in Stockport. The name at this end is Andy. Yeah, I've got you there, my friend. No worries. Yeah, you're working anyway. You're certainly making the trip. It's yeah, it's a nice signal and good audio from you there, my friend. Yeah, 73s and 88s, the old good lady, if you have one. Thank you very much, my friend. Oh, can you give me a quick check before you go? 2468, your turn to modulate. Yeah, Roger, I got that. Thank you very much. Yeah, you take it easy, my friend. And thank you very much for the report. Oh, by the way, if you're watching, if you've got YouTube, I am on YouTube Live, by the way. We're on YouTube Live on the Vintage Radio Shack, over. Yeah, so we got one in there, didn't we, guys? We got him. He was in Wigan. He was in Wigan. He popped in for a quick. Move my chair back a bit. There we go. He popped in for a quick radio check. Let's just turn this down a minute. But yeah, he popped in. Yeah, that guy just popped in. He was just after a quick radio report and he got one. And you know, that's what we like to do. We like to give, you know, as accurate report as we can. We can't always, you know, because these are bar graph meters and not mechanical meters. But he was giving me between a 7 and a 9, so it'd have to be an 8, wouldn't he, really? But yeah, that's I was quite pleased. I'm quite pleased. We got one contact so far. Let me just adjust me. What do you call it, guys? Sorry about this. But yeah. There we go. There we go. That's better. Yeah. CQ calling. CQ calling. This is Apollo. The name is Andy. In the United Kingdom. We're live on YouTube. Is there any stations out there? Copy this one. Come on. I'll tell you what we'll do, guys and girls. What we'll do, we'll nip up to 28 megs. We'll nip up to 10 meters. We'll nip up to 10 meters and see what's doing up there. Who's this? Let's put this on FM. That's I think that's Johnny Foreigner. Shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be there, but he is. Right, we want. There we are. Come back down a bit. There we go. Now, I'm trying to keep it so you can see the frequency. Let's give me knob a turn. Have I got any buttons on the mic on this? No, I haven't. The button's on the other mic. Oh. Let's see how many people we've got in. Yeah, so it's got 10 people in. Not showing any messages here though. Why is that not showing any messages? It should show the chat. There we are. Hello Patrick. Nice to have you in, mate. It's a pleasure. Yeah, now we're working. The chat wasn't good displaying there. So we're on 10 meters and we're going to see what we can find hanging around 10 metres. I'm trying to do it so you lot can see. Yeah, this is a good radio. I do like my Yaesu radios, guys. I do like Yaesus. Oops. Just use my finger there. That's all I can do, really. Yeah. I think you're new, aren't you, Patrick? I don't recall seeing you. I might have done, but I can't recall it. But yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely, everybody is. Yeah. Let's put it on fast. Be here all night. There we go, guys. Yeah. Yeah, microchips will probably... Yeah, I thought you were new, yeah. Yeah, we come on. Let's just turn this down a minute. Yeah, for any new subscribers, what we generally do, you know, what we generally come on and, you know, we're either going to be messing with radio like we're doing now, or we might be showing a piece of equipment off that I just got, or I might be trying to repair. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm no expert on two-way radio. I'm an electronics engineer, but my background is in domestic radio, record players, televisions, that kind of thing. And we have got the equipment to do two-way radios. We've got a nice big test, a nice Schlumberger. What model is it? It's a Schlumberger S1. Schlumberger SI 431 stable lock communication test set. And we've got that, and we use that so that if we do adjust anything, at least we can put it back to where it was. You know, but that's mainly used for doing alignments, which I can do alignments. I don't have a problem with alignments. Just fault finding at the moment I'm a bit sticky on. But we get there. You know, we've got an Harvard 420M down there, which uses a Cybernet 134 board, and that's got an issue where every now and again it will transmit. And when it does transmit, it transmits well and it does a full 4 watts. But because it's been realigned and done, and all of a sudden it'll just stop, and I've not found out why yet. I think it's either a dodgy transistor or a dodgy transformer, but I've not found out which yet. But it's not the transmit switching, because it's going into transmit, it's just not doing anything. Well, it is. It's transmitting, but very little. There's very little coming out of it when it does transmit. But when it transmits properly, it transmits a full 4 watts. But I've got another camera to go up on the ceiling, and I've got a mount. I've got a mount for the camera down there, and I've got a fluorescent light, well, an LED light to go up, an LED strip light to go up. So we've got that to sort out, and I've got the Mildred, my friend the Mildred I call him. He's going to do that for us. I'm turning that knob and got the volume down. Let's go back a bit. Yeah, we're nearly up to 29 megs. You don't find many people past here, so that's as high as I go. And what we'll do, we'll go back down. And I'm wondering if I can go back to 555, if I'll see him do it. Where's the button? I think that's it there. Well, that's changing that. But I haven't programmed 555 in. So let's put it back on. Put it back on there. Put it back on fast. Oh, it was on fast. Yeah. But yes, we've got the wind blowing me shit through. But I've got a window open there. Hey, who's that out there? Is that you, Courtney? Oh, it's Courtney outside in the garden. Must be putting a pool away or something. Someone just hit my fucking window. Yeah. Yeah, we generally find something, but we're not finding anything tonight. Yeah, we're finding nothing. Yeah. My fucking mouse has stopped working. Oh, I don't believe that. My mouse has stopped working, guys. Why has that stopped? It was working before. That's the problem, you see. Where is it plugged in? That's it there. I unplug it. There we go. There we go, we're working again. There we go. Yeah, my mouse has an habit of locking up when I use the bloody radio. Let's turn it this way. That might help, yeah. That's on FM. Yeah. That's on FM now.
You're looking twat. Sorry about that. Sorry about what?
Right. Yeah, we're not going on Channel 19, listening to all that bloody bucket mouthing. No, it's not nice to hear that, is it, swearing? Yeah. I'll tell you what we want to look at, guys. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that for a minute. Let's turn that down. And what I want to do, this has not been on for a few days. Let's go back to the, I think it's this camera here, yes. Right. Let's go back to this camera here. And what we'll do, I want to go to this little radio here, because that's the lead for it. I want to see how much the battery's dropped, because it shouldn't really, but I've heard that the battery self-discharges in these. Give it a wipe, there we go. But yeah, it's on. Let it decide, because obviously it has to boot up, because all these are really, yeah, 7.9 volts. Yeah, so the battery isn't self-discharging. And this is a nice little radio, guys. What we'll do, we'll get the aerial, or the antenna as some people like to call it. Turn this off, and then it won't accidentally get keyed up by mistake. And what we'll do, we'll put the aerial into this little one here, and there we go. Let's put it on SSB. Let's put it on SSB. We're on USB. Let's go to, oh, where's the microphone? There's the mic. It's Courtney putting her pool away. She must have banged one of her bars off my window. Right. Right, this is only doing 5 watts at the moment. Let's see about going a bit quicker. In fact, we should. There we go. That should be. Now. Right.
It's always great memories, always brings a smile to my face. So never paid a bill, did you? But it was fine. We can get through that.
So AM radio station of some description. There you go. Right, we want to change that to SSB. And now we need to that's it. Yeah. Right. Can I store this in there? It should be stored actually. So if I press memory, should have yeah it is. VFO channel 2, 27555. It's already in there. I thought it was, so why didn't it come up before? But it's in there. So what we'll do, we'll leave that, plug the external speaker in, so you lot can hear it better if anything. There you go. Adjust the squelch. There you go. We'll see if anything pops in. Whoops. There we go. I've got to sort all this out. I need to make some new leads actually, because I need to make. I've got a switch box there. And what I need to do is make leads to come to the different radios, and the main aerial go into the switch box. Which is what I want to do. I've got a 3-position switch, so I should actually do that, but I've not got to it yet. You know, things take time. But yeah, we were hoping to look at the. We were hoping to look at the Bush MB60 and the TR82C to show you what the difference is. They both look like the same radio, but they're not. Because one's valve and the other one isn't. You can probably guess which is the valve one. It's the TR82C. Sorry, the MB60 is the valve one, and that uses D series valves, which are 1.5 volt heater voltage, and they use two. It uses 2 D-cell batteries in parallel for the valve heaters rather, and for the heater chain, and it uses a 90 volt radio battery for the HT. But I don't run it on the mains. Sorry, I don't run it on batteries. I run it on the mains. Hence MB60. Mains and battery 60. I run it on the battery, on the mains. which is which suits me. It suits me, and you know, I don't actually have an issue with doing that. I very rarely use that radio. It'll probably get even less use. There's nothing on AM anymore, apart from TalkSport and 5 Live. And I don't want to listen to either of them. Oh, and Japati AM at the top, the Asian station. I don't want to listen to that either. So, you know, it's nothing on it for me. But yeah, we've also got the what do you call it here as well. We haven't looked at any of these for a few weeks, have we? I wonder if this has got any charge in it left. This is the TID radio. It has, it's still got a full battery. And I think these do 10 watts. I'm not going to key it up on there because that's the calling chat frequency. Right. So let's see where we can find somewhere.
17, 16, 15, 14.
Let's put it on there and just keep blip it. Yeah. 10 watts this one does. Wouldn't believe that, would you? You know, 10 watts from that little handheld. It's a good little radio, that. Let's move that one out of the way a minute. Yeah, there we go. That's the little TID radio we've got. Hello, Martin. And we've also got this, and I've had this, guys, right. I'll be honest, it's probably dead now. No, it's still got some juice left in it. Anyway, let's turn it on. There you go. I've had this, guys. It's on PMR. I've had this one. I bought this one. The same. Well, not this one actually. I'm not strictly true there, because the first one of these I bought, it had an accident. I went to a radio rally with some friends, and on my way there on my motorbike, my flask burst and ruined my radio and my sandwiches. So basically, I bought this one at the rally, and it's a Quansheng. Does it say what model? It does somewhere, but I can't see it. But what I bought an high gain aerial for it as well. I bought the high gain antenna for it, and it works. This does 5 watts, and I can communicate pretty well on it on 5 watts. You know, we don't do too bad. I've got this other one here, and this is the Baofeng. They're a bit on the rubbish side, but it's just for display. That I don't really use the Baofeng. It does work, but I don't use it. I don't really like it, to be honest. It's been turned left on and left on, and the battery's gone dead. I have to get its charger and charge it up. I'll have to put it in, plug it into its charger, see if it'll take its charge. Battery might have gone below the threshold. So, and I've got this one here, guys, and this is a very old radio. This is a PMR only. It's a 16 channel PMR. I got this off my friend Jay over at Jay's Vintage Junk, and the battery's long extinct. The battery doesn't even charge up. It's just an ornament, that. That's just an ornament, because you wouldn't buy, you wouldn't put your hand in your pocket for the cost of the battery for that, because it really isn't worth it when there's so much you can buy now. Just clean my glasses. There's so much you can buy now that can do more than that ever could, and do it a lot better. So, you know, you wouldn't so you wouldn't put your hand in your pocket now for that. But that's what we've got so far, guys. We're down to 5 people. We're going to get going in a minute. Because to be honest with you, I want to go out and get a bit of fresh air. So what we'll do, we'll put these back where they came from. These little handhelds. Put them back where they came from. Back in their little holsters. And that's where we go. That's where we go. There we go. But yeah, we are going to get the camera on the ceiling soon, and the light. I've got everything needed to do it, and you know, yeah, we'll get that done, and then we can. You know, we can maybe get on with the repairs that we need to get on with. We've still got this as well. I've not got any further with this yet. Put it that way. This is the Binatone or Binatone, however you want to say it. Route 66. And the problem with this is it's got transmit but no receive, and I'm not sure why it's got no receive. A bit of a queer one, but I have got the service manual, so we're going to get into that. I've got the service manual. Our friend Graham over at Microchips very kindly sent me the service manual, and the service manual I believe covers both the late and the early editions of that radio, because the late and the early editions, they've got a different board in them. They're not the same radio, although they look it from the front. They're not the same. Not the same radio, guys. Ooh. But there we go. You see. Let's come back to so you can see me. There we go. And that's it. You see. I've got a lot of records to sort out as well, guys, so, you know, yeah, we'll be getting rid of, we're putting some records on, but I'll put them on Marketplace. Oh, get rid of them. I need to go through them, make sure that anything I've got 2 of, keep the best one for myself, and I'm going to, everything I get rid of, everything I put up for sale will be cleaned. I'll clean them all, and make them all sort of playable. Because I don't believe in selling records for arts and crafts projects. I like to sell records if I'm going to sell any. I like to get rid of them because people might want to play them. So I will clean them. At some point I'll get round to doing that. And you know, get them into a position where they're playable. But yeah, we'll be going soon. We'll be going soon because I have other things to do in the vintage audio workshop. We have things to do in there. What we're doing now, just quickly update you, I've got a video going through the editor because I've done it in 2 parts and joined them together, which is what I tend to do nowadays because it's easier for me. You know, and it means the videos, they are longer, but they're, you know, you get to see more of what I'm doing. Fancy some fucker leaving comments saying that I'm unsafe. Really, that's really pissed me off, that, you know, really annoyed me, that, because I don't leave anything unsafe, and there's plenty of electronics engineers on here, plenty of electronics engineers watch the channel, plenty of electricians watch the channel, and if I was doing something I shouldn't be doing, or if somebody saw something, I'm sure they'd say to me, Andy, that's not quite right. Do you want to give it a second look? You know, or maybe don't you think you should insulate that, or do this or do that? But no one ever does. I've never had a complaint come back about something not being right. I do sleeve things if I need to. If I don't think it needs sleeving, then I don't sleeve it. If it's not in danger of being in contact with something else, I'll leave it. If it's in danger of being in contact with something else, then I'll do it. It's pretty much as simple as that. You know. Anyway guys, I'm going to leave it there. Because I want to go and sit outside. It's a bit like a bloody tomb in here. And there's a mosquito on my window that's getting killed before the fucker bites me. Sick of getting bit by them things. Horrible. Yeah, so yeah, definitely not unsafe. In fact, to be honest with you guys, before we go, to be honest with you guys, you know, that when I send them out, they're probably safer than what they were when they were made, because back in the 50s and 60s and beyond that, there wasn't much in the way of electrical safety in the UK. I mean, a lot of stuff was made to run on AC and DC. That sort of stuff I don't really repair because there's no transformer and its mains derived HT. So I try and avoid it. I have done the odd one, but I try and avoid them because you can't earth them. But anything with a transformer, well, that's right, Martin. I mean, I agree. Yeah, that's completely true. You know, anything, you know, it's, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm sure you guys, if I was doing something and it wasn't and it didn't look right, I'm sure you guys would actually look at it and say, listen, Andy, yeah, you know, I wish you guys might, you guys would actually, yeah, this is a comment that was left because Arvid brought it to my attention. Unsubscribed. I can't watch this anymore. I have a 6-year-old with more electronics knowledge. And that's from David Knight. Cocksucker, obviously. And this other one is from somebody called at Robert W6E5S. Me too. I've been watching this fool for a few weeks. To be honest, his work is of a terrible standard and often leaves equipment unsafe, and he looks as if he stinks as well. Cocksucker, you see. So you see, at the end of the day, guys, you know, they've been reported to fucking YouTube. Fuck them. They've been reported. I don't give a shit, me. But that being said, if it carries on, I'll just fucking, what do you call it, won't I? It'll all go into a members area. And if you want to slag me off, if people want to slag me off, then they'll have to pay to do it. You know, I don't want to do that because I'm of the impression that anything on YouTube should be allowed to be viewed by anybody. You shouldn't have to pay for it. But unfortunately, if that's how it's going to happen, you know, at the end of the day, it's on the, what do you call it? It's on the last one I put up on the Vintage Audio Repair channel. It's the Bush. It's the Bush SRP 31C Part 3 is where the comments were left. But the actual repair of the Bush and the work, I think in the first video you see me strip it down, and I was ill all that week, so I left it for a few days. And then I did the recap and replaced the resistor and the rectifier. And you know, I want to take a look and see if it's actually dangerous and point out their mistakes when it, you know, you see, you know, at the end of the day, guys, you know, I think I'm going to be a bit longer now, but you see, at the end of the day, you know, I double check my work. I really do, and I even say to you guys, you know, if you're not happy, double check. And I double check everything and triple check it if I need to. And yes, I make mistakes, but I find them before I plug the bloody thing in. You know, I do make mistakes, of course I do. You know, who doesn't? We're only human. But the mistakes get corrected before the item is even thought about being put back together. You know. I double check everything. Not often I make a mistake, but I do. I mean, I'm not impervious. You know, I'm just a fucking man after all. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not Superman, am I? You know, I'm not fucking where, you know, I can, you know, one of those, you know, I don't wear my underpants over my trousers and wear a cape. You know. You know, at the end of the day. But like I say, you know, like I say, you know, I think I leave them safer than what they were when they were manufactured. You know, anybody can check any of my videos. They can come here anytime they want and look at the process. They come in, you know, I don't mind. You know, doesn't bother me because I know that what I'm doing is safe. And I don't like the thought that my reputation is being brought into question on the issue of safety. But like I say, you know, there's plenty of qualified electricians like Martin. You know, plenty of qualified people out there that they can watch the videos, they can see them in detail. Let's turn this radio off. I don't hide anything from anybody. There you go. I don't hide anything from anybody. Everything's there. It's an open book. I explain the process of what I'm doing. And, you know, I've even repaired things for other engineers. You know, I've done work for other electronics engineers and not had a problem, not had any comeback. You know, I've had stuff farmed off to me, you know, put my way because they haven't got the time or didn't want to do it. You know, so when all said and done, you know, I don't leave nothing, I leave no stone unturned. I like to think so anyway. It's starting to go a bit dark now, guys. We'll shut that window in a minute and find that fucking mozzie and get him killed. He was floating around there before. But when all said and done, You know, if I was unsafe, somebody would have reported it by now. It would have got all over YouTube. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. You know, I mean, it does bother me, guys. I mean, you know, it really does. It gets to me, you know, it really does. It shouldn't, but it does. It does get to me when somebody questions. Well, that's it, you see. Yeah, Andy, rule of thumb is it compliant. Rule of thumb is it compliant with modern regs. No, it can't be because of its age. That's true. Is it safer than it was before? Yes. Then no problem. That's it, you see. I mean, then dance sets, you know, most of them came with no fuse in them. I put a fuse in them. I mean, admittedly, I don't put a fuse in all of them, but I put a fuse in most of them. If I change, what I generally do, if I don't change the rectifier, I don't put a fuse in because it doesn't need it. But if I do change the rectifier, then I put a fuse in it. You know. And then Bush SRP 31s, I always put a 122 ohm resistor in them with the new diode, because the service manual tells you it should be 225 volts DC, and using a 22 ohm resistor brings it down to that, exactly that. You know, with no record playing, no signal being fed in, and the volume and the volume and the tone controls at minimum, you get 125 volts. Sorry, 225 volts, which is what the service manual says. And I don't test all of them on the meter. I don't need to, because they're all the same bloody thing, and when you do one, they're all going to be the same. So, you know, I mean, the last one I did before this one, I think I've shown you, and the HT was actually bang on, and it always is. You know, but at the end of the day, let's see what's come up in the chat. Hey, we've got 7 in now. We had 8 before. I think somebody's dropped off. Yeah, how funny a real gotcha result. Yeah. You know, well, I do explain. I like how you explain things as simply as you can. I can even follow some things you repair. Keep doing what you're doing. That's right. Well, you did, didn't you, you and Jeff? You know, you did an SRP 31C, and you used one of my earlier videos to go off. And you also used my video largely when you did the Sharp Vertical, because I sent you the replacement bits and the manual, and you know, you and Jeff were able to do that as well. So, you know, I think it's, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, if I don't know anything, I mean, I watch people who repair cars. I watch all sorts of stuff, and I would never dream of leaving a comment on somebody's page, on somebody's video, saying, "That's right, yeah, I don't remember you for coming on and I remember you coming on and thanking me for it." You know. I explain. Yes, videos that explain stuff are really useful. Are a really useful resource. Keep doing it, and never mind the haters. Well, that's it. I couldn't give a shit, but it just. I say I couldn't give a shit, but I do when my safety's called into question. Or my ability to do it safely. When it comes in. Let me tell you this, guys and girls, right? When I get to a point, if I get to a point, where I can't do this safely, I'll stop. I'll just stop there and then and just say, right, that's enough. But until then, yes. I enjoy doing it. I've done it all my life. It's the one thing I've one thing I tried and I really enjoyed it, and I stuck with it. I was here long before YouTube. I won't be here long after, obviously not. But I was here long before YouTube. Good evening, Malcolm. Yeah, what's that? With our job, always make notes. Yes, but if you're not making it worse, what's the exactly? I even take photographs. Even though I've done something 1,000 times before, I still take photographs because memory joggers, as I call them. It doesn't hurt to have a few. It doesn't hurt to have a few memory joggers. Certainly not, guys. It just saves you time, somebody once asked me, and I thought the question was valid, but at the same time, invalid. Somebody says to me, if you're such a good engineer, why do you need a service manual? Well, that's simple. We need the service manual because the manufacturer want us to service it in a particular way. Now, take these two radios under here, the Harvard 420M and the Harvard Good Buddy. They're both Harvards, both got different boards in them. So the manufacturers want us to service them differently. Just because they've got the same name on the front doesn't mean to say that they're going to be the same inside, and they want us to service them accordingly. No two products by the same manufacturer are ever the same. Well, a good case in point is this fella here. Is this little monkey here. This is the Binatone or Binatone, whatever you want to call it, Route 66. Now, there's two versions of this. There's a late version and there's an early version, and they're not the same. And servicing them is a different procedure for them as well. So, one has to be serviced one way and one has to be done another. I've got the manual, I think, for both. Well, I'm glad you're getting better. Glad you're getting better, Paul. Hello, a guy from the 60s, Paul. I hope you and Jan are good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm okay, thank you, my friend. I'm in fine feckle. I need a shave, but I need a shave and a quick shower because of the heat. But other than that, yes, I am absolutely good. No worries whatsoever there, guys. I'm a lot better. I feel a lot better than what I did a couple of weeks ago. I'm back in. I'm more or less back on 4 cylinders now. So we're getting there. I feel more energetic, more able to sit there and concentrate and get things done. And other than that, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it, you see. You know, as Charles Rolls says, strive for perfection in everything you do. Or take whatever exists and make it better. Was it Charles Rolls or Henry Royce, one of the two? But, yeah, that's what you do. You know, whatever, you know, strive for perfection in everything you do. You know, the idea is to make these things better than what they were. A safer, well, you can't get them much better, but you can certainly make them safer. You know, whereas people can touch them without getting a shock off them. That's why I don't do the ones with no transformers. That's why I don't like doing mains derived HT players. I don't like doing them, I just don't. You know, if there's no transformer, I don't like doing it. I'd rather a transformer. I mean, at the time then things were made, there was very few, if any, electrical regulations here in the UK. But you know, over the years, the regulations changed. I mean, the question: should you use brown, blue, and stripy green, or should you stick with the original power lead? That could come into question. But if the original power lead is in good condition, which the one on the bush is, if the power lead is in good condition, then and there's nothing wrong with it, there's no breaks in it anywhere, and it's not gone crispy, then I don't see the point of putting a new wire on. I do the dance sets because a lot of them weren't earthed, and they can be. So I do a lot of them, you know, and I just don't like mains derived HT. Yeah, because they're live, that's why they feel tingly. They're a live chassis, aren't they? Because basically, your neutral goes through your chassis and your live goes through your on-off switch. Your live goes through your live input circuit, part of the circuit, and the neutral goes to chassis, and your live goes to the one end of a bloody mains dropper, really. Goes to one end of a surge limiting resistor. So really what you're doing, you're putting 250 volts in, and you're getting 250 volts roughly out, and that's it. That's basically unisolated HT. It's unisolated mains, and it's really I just think it's really dangerous. And I mean, if I'd have been around, I mean, I'd probably be dead now if I'd have been around in them days. But if I'd have been around in them days, stuff like that wouldn't have been made. I would have insisted back then everything have a mains transformer, you know, and it was even possible to double insulate things back then. You know, it's always been, but you see, not putting a mains transformer in means that they can sell it cheaper, or they can make it cheaper rather, and not sell it cheaper. It means they can make it cheaper by not putting a mains transformer in. You know, because mains transformers cost money. They're an expensive part, and they always have been. You know, you try buying one nowadays, you know, you're looking at the thick end of a wedge of money. You know, I bet you're looking about £70 or £80 for a good, you know, I don't mean a cheap Shenzhen Chinese one. I mean a really good quality one. Probably looking at 70, maybe, or maybe more. Between £50 and £100 for a transformer. So if you get one in where the transformer's burnt out and you haven't got a suitable, you know, the person's not going to want to have it repaired at that price. I mean, I wouldn't want to have it repaired at that price. I'd just say no. It's not worth my my hassle. It's not worth the money. And for a little one valve wonder dance set, you know, you wouldn't pay 50 or 100, between 50 and £100 for a mains transformer. You just wouldn't. You'd have to be mad to do so. You know, because they're just not worth that. You know, so you'd have to be stupid to pay that kind of money. But I mean, I remember back in the 2000s and the 2000 teens, if you like. I remember back in the early days, them dance sets, they were fetching top dollar. You know, back in the day, they were fetching top dollar. They're not anymore, because everybody who wanted one's probably got one, and the people who haven't got one don't want one. You know, and the people who want one but don't want to pay that kind of money probably find one cheap and send it to me and have it done. I mean, I'm certainly one of the cheapest guys out there because I do it as a hobby. And money doesn't mean nothing to me. Money is only a means of paying the bills. You know, keeping the lights on and stuff. That's all it is. That's all it means to me. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Because we've had a bit of radio tonight. We've had a bit of a chat. And, yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. And, because I need to get in the other room. Oh, we've got 9 people in now. Yeah, they were TV sets, yeah. There was a couple that weren't. But yeah, most of them were, yeah. Most of them were live chassis, television sets. Yeah, right up until the 90s, yeah. I don't think the BRC 3000s and 3500s, don't think they were live, because when you pulled the circuit boards out, there was a good perimeter where there was no copper ever seemed to touch the actual chassis, and they had 7 boards in them, if you count the board on the back of the tube. There was 7 boards in them things. Well, there was actually 8 if it had the electronic tuner. If it had the resistive electronic tuner, there was 8. If it was capacitively tuned, yeah, there were 7 boards in them things. Yeah, you had, yeah, starting from the top going round clockwise, you had your power supply. Next start you had your line output and scan. Then you had your frame and sound on the right, and then coming down you had your on the right you had your Chromance board. Then you had your video. Sorry, correction. It was frame and line time base, field and line time base on the right. Then coming down, you had your Chromance panel. Then you had your video panel next to that. Then on the left you had your IF and sound, and then of course on the back of the tube you had the CRT base. Oh, I forgot you had your convergence panel on the back. Depending on what set you got, depending on how big your convergence panel was. On the 3000s, which all of them had a tube like a goldfish bowl, they could only scan a certain degree. I can't remember it exactly. They couldn't scan the square tubes. He could only scan the sort of roundy sort of ones that were really curved. They could only do them. They were 3000s, and the 3500 had the big convergence panel, and that enabled it. That was an upgrade. That enabled it to scan the squarer tubes that were coming out. And I believe, if I'm right in thinking, I believe you could actually take a convergence panel from a 3.5 and put it on a 3. Because I think they were the same connection. The connections were the same. You could just swap them if I remember rightly, but I can't remember. It's been years. I've paid a fortune for electronics. It's not been worth a wank. It's not worth a wank now, but I bought them because I like them. The money doesn't really matter. Well, that's right. You know, if you like, if you buy something, and you're happy with it, then the monetary value doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it's worth as long as you're happy, and that's what matters. I mean, a lot of stuff I've got in here, it's probably not worth a fucking great, not worth anything anymore. But I bought it because I wanted it, not because it's worth a load of money. You know, there's a difference. You know, you buy things because you want them, or you'd like to have them, not because they're worth a fortune. I mean, you know, for me to buy something, I have to like it. Doesn't matter what it's worth. Hang on, I've got the I've got a dose of farts, guys. Anyway, but that's it, guys. At the end of the day, you know, if he's all right. He's not very well, actually. He's not very well. He's getting a bit wobbly on his legs now, guys. He's been a bit limpy the last couple of days. He's been all right today, but yeah, he is about. He's not been very well. He's not. To be honest, it's old age. There's nothing I can do about it. I don't think he's going to be with us much longer, unfortunately, which is a shame, because I don't really want to lose him. But, you know, it's going to happen, isn't it? And I'm going to wake up one morning, or he's just going to stand there and go plop in front of me or whatever. But it's sad. But, you know, I've had him 18 years. He's been constantly, you know, he's been a constant friend. He's been here constantly. You know, I got him on the 1st of January 2008 when my mate Charlie brought him round, and he's been here ever since. I did have some photographs of him when he was younger, but I haven't got them now. They've all got lost, which is a shame. But, you know, he's been a good dog. He's been a good dog. I've no reason to complain. I've no reason to complain, guys. You know, he's been a good dog. He's always been well behaved. He's growled at one or two people, but he's never attacked anybody. I think he growled at you, did he, Paul? Guy from the 60s, I think he growled at you, didn't he? But, you know, people like the postman, he's never bothered. He's never bothered, guys, honestly. He's never bothered delivery guys, postmen. You know, nothing. He's never bothered. You know. As far as Jack Russells go, he's one of the best. Definitely one of the best. And it will be sad when he goes. You know, it will. It'll be, you know, it'll be sad for me. Because, you know, not only, you know, have I owned him, he's been a good friend. He's been here. You know. He can't get on my bed anymore, and I won't lift him because he doesn't like being lifted. He's got 2 beds. He's got one in the workshop and one here in the front room. I won't put one in the bedroom in case I trip over the bloody thing in the middle of the night. In case he decides he wants to stay in the workshop, and I've got a bloody dog bed in the middle of the floor. I don't fancy tripping over it, and not only that, I don't fancy treading on him either. So, but yeah, he's been, he has. He's been the one constant, when I was working and I used to come home, he was always at the door to greet me. The old lady that used to live upstairs, Frances, she says to me, I was up having a cup of tea with her one day, which I did quite often, and she said to me, she said, when your motorbike goes up the road? I said, yeah. She said, just after your motorbike goes up the road, she says, he starts crying. She says, and he'll cry. She says, he whimpers. She says, and he'll whimper for about half an hour, and then he'll realise and he'll settle down. She says, he'll probably curl up somewhere, go to sleep. I says, he does. Says, he jumps on the sofa or my chair and goes to sleep. But he does, if I go out, he'll cry for about half an hour because he doesn't like being on his own, but when I was working I had no choice. I had to leave. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't go out, because I don't like him being on his own. I mean, he likes to be around me, and yeah. But yeah, he's not very steady on his legs now, guys. So, but I'll keep you all informed on anything that happens. But yeah, I think he's not long. But we don't know, do we? He could, if he gets to 19, he could get to bloody 20, couldn't he? You don't know. Because his eyesight's still okay. He's not. I mean, people go on that he's got cataracts. He hasn't. His eyes have always been that colour from day one. His eyes have always been that colour. He hasn't got cataracts. His eyes have always been green, always. From the day I got him, his eyes have been that colour. But although you drop a crumb on the floor, bang, he's on it. Not wrong with his ears. He can hear a packet of biscuits being opened 500 yards away. But yeah. When I was working or I went out, he used to come. He was always at the door, ready to greet me when I come home. He was always behind the door, and I used to give him a stroke and a bit of a fuss. I still do. I used to put him on his lead and take him for a walk, and come back, get me supper, and then go to bed. But yeah, will I get another dog after him? No, I won't, guys, and the reason why is because I'm 60 this year. Have I got enough life in me to look after another dog for another 18 years? I don't know. Will it outlive me? Quite possibly. So, because the older you get, the more you start to reflect on your own mortality. But it won't be the same without him. But well, that's it, you see. I mean, he was in his own home and he wouldn't have bit you. He just growls. But only certain people he does it to. I don't know why. And we used to have this black postman. And he was alright, laughed, this postman. And I said, have you got anything for me today? He said, no. The scraps was about 1 at a time. Has you got anything for me? He's, no, me got nothing for you today, Andy. Me only want to stroke your dog. You know. And, you know, he used to, every time he come down, you know, every time he come, whether he had any mail for me or not, if the door was open and the gate was shut with scraps behind it, he always came down the path. Whether he had any mail for me or upstairs or not, that postman always came down the path and said hello to him. There's a delivery fella now, a black guy, works for Parcel Force. In fact, he delivered a parcel here today, and he always gives scraps. He takes his own dog to work with him. You know, puts him in the van. He has his own van, obviously. He puts his own dog in the van and takes him to work with him. And you know, he always gives Scraps a bit of a stroke when he comes. He gives him a bit of a fuss. You know, it doesn't bother him. You know, and yeah. So you know, yeah, he's been a good little Jack Russell. I mean, because normally the yappy growly fuckers, he's up and about. I'm going to get off, guys, because he might want to go and have a pee, and I don't want him to do it all over the floor if I can avoid it. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. Buy me a coffee if you want to, and I will be back. Well, there'll be a video going up in a bit, and I'll have something for you tomorrow. Remember, we're live in the audio workshop tomorrow. We're live in the main workshop tomorrow on the Vintage Audio Repair channel. I'll catch you later, guys. Thank you very much once again, and bye for now. And you all take care, by the way.